Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and another installment of my color series here today. I'm sure you read the title before you clicked on it, so you know that this is going to be a combination of black, gray, and white in today's video. So basically like a grayscale, kind of a monochromatic faves, I guess. Well, I guess they're all monochromatic faves because I'm separating each color out. Whatever, that's besides the point. We're doing 3 different colors in today's video because I just feel like I don't have enough of all 3 to dedicate a specific video to each, because I could pull 10 blacks, 10 grays, 10 whites and say like, oh, these are the top of my black, gray, white collection. But if I'm being honest, out of my very small black, gray, and white collections, I don't think that there are 10 completely standout polishes to me like there are of other colors. And so I just want to do 5 of each and combine them into a singular video. Then after this video, you'll get a gold-silver combination because I kind of have a similar issue there. And then a full toppers favorite video, which I love toppers. I know you don't see me wearing them very often. I just like to have them. I don't know. But I'm going to do a full toppers favorite video, and then I guess the color series will come to its conclusion. And then after that, I got to figure out a brand new series. I don't know, maybe I could do top favorites by finish or something like that, but we got time. We'll figure it out. So as per usual, I'm going to do, well, not per usual, I'm going to do 5 of each color rather than 10 in no particular order. So I'm going to start with 5 blacks, then show you 5 grays, and end with 5 whites, which was the hardest category of my life. And I have swatches of everything, so you'll be able to see them right here in this convenient blank space that I've left for myself. And let's get into it. So, like I said, first is black. Now, some of you might be surprised to see that in my top 5 blacks, there's not a single linear hollow in here. And if I had done my top 10, then maybe one would have been in like the bottom 5 ranking or something like that. But I'm just not a big hollow freak. I like hollow, but I'm not like everything's got to be hollow all the time kind of a person. I like a big variety. If anything, I'm more of a flakies queen, than a hollow queen. I still do have some hollow in here. It's just I don't have a strictly black linear hollow that I'm obsessed with. I have the Hollow Taco one, and I have 1 or 2 by another brand, but none of them are really like wowing me. So to start out with, let's just get the most boring one out of the way. And of course, I mentioned this in my Hollow Taco phase, but this, I would be remiss not to mention it again, is 1 Coat Black. This is my go-to black when I need a strong black base. No matter the length of my nails, this has always truly been a single coat for me. This has the skinny brush that Hollow Taco uses. I don't know if they ever switched it for 1 Coat Black or not, because this is my first bottle, surprisingly. But I find that it works well for me with this formula. I don't really have trouble with it. Some people have their other go-to blacks, like Cirque's Memento Mori, I believe it is, and like a couple others. I don't have an issue with this one. Some people think, oh, $11 for a single cream. I'm not really bothered. This lasts me a really long time, and it is a great solid base for any kind of nail art that you need a black base for, or just utilizing it within nail art. It really works so well for me. Sometimes if I'm not feeling like using it for whatever reason, I'm like, I'm gonna be spontaneous, I will use Orly's liquid leather, but it's not as good. It's just a little bit thinner. I have to do 2 coats with Orly's liquid leather because there is always just a little bit of streakiness or a little bit of light coming through my nails where I've painted it. So this to me still is my top black polish for creams. Next, we have ILNP's Eclipse. Now, this is a little bit cheating because you guys know I love to cheat everywhere. It is a black to red multi-chrome, so kind of a mix of the two. Wow, I feel like I looked really manic. I just caught myself in the viewfinder and I was like, so, this is a great polish when I'm looking a little bit crazy. I own 2 black to red multi-chromes. This is the first one I bought, which I think is kind of why this is the one I leaned towards. Also, the other one is by Color Club, and that was one of their special like gold capped ones. They released it in like 2 holidays ago, and it was like 20 bucks, and I didn't buy it then, and then it came out in that 4-piece set that included Lucky Charm, and I got it then. But I would say that the ILNP one is way more price efficient for what you're getting, and also you can't even get the Color Club one anymore because it's kind of a limited edition run. But ILNP, everybody who talks about ILNP, I feel like they praise their multichromes. And you know me, I'm very much like, oh, multichromes pretty much always look the same. And you know, they do in the same colorways, but I have not seen a brand have as an expansive catalog of multichromes that I'm interested in as ILNP. They have, go check out their website, I'm serious. They have so many crazy looking multichromes. I think this is maybe the only multichrome I have from them. I've only made one purchase so far, but I love them. And I just saw one of my friends showed me that they're redesigning their logo and packaging and bottles and all that, I think, or maybe it's just the logo. So if you don't want a mismatched logo, I would say go buy it now before they put the heart on all the bottles. But yeah, the reason I actually picked this up was because sometime last year, Polish with Ray did this huge video of like all the black to red multichromes that she had, just like a big like head to head. And this was one of them, I think, in the video, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool effect, because I thought, oh, black to red multichrome, that's kind of up my alley, but I never really like looked into them. And then I watched her video and I sat there like transfixed, because first of all, she puts together her stuff so well. It's like really, really well spoken, and she's not like all over the place like me. It's very direct to the point. She gives you all the best information. So I was just like, oh my gosh, I gotta get one of these. She really talked me into it without even probably having to try. And so that's how I ended up with this guy. And it is really cool. I mean, it does what a multichrome does, where it's like, it's super black in some lights and super red in others, but it's just awesome. And I love the black-red color combo, so there you go. Okay, and I did say we have a little bit of holo in here. This is China Glaze's Night and Slay. This is, of course, from the Paint It Black collection, which I talk about every like 14 minutes on my channel. Like I said, I don't have any linears on here, but this is like a chunky, chunky black glitter, and that's kind of how I like my glitters in a black polish, because I just feel like they're way more apparent, even when the light's not hitting it necessarily all that directly. That's the thing with linears. Like, I feel like linear holo doesn't look super special unless you're in like perfect lighting. Otherwise, it's just kind of a flat, almost metallic-y looking color. But this one in particular, I don't have a bunch of lights on in my room right now because the light from the back is pretty poppin', but you can't really see it here, but hopefully you can see in my swatch. It looks like a really cool night sky, because you have not only those bigger holo glitters, like they're not huge, but they're bigger than the other glitters in here, and they're these round holo glitters, and then it's got a scattered tinier silver glitter, and even I think one that's even smaller than that. Like, it's got a lot of different sizes of glitter. And so it's got a lot of reflectivity going on, not just rainbows, but also silver. And it just looks like a really pretty night sky with rainbows in it. And then, of course, we have two flakies because I'm a flaky queen. And the first of the two flakies is Different Dimension Pride. Now, you'll see in my picture, it's got kind of like a greeny yellow flip. Like in the bottle, it shows a full rainbow, but it definitely leans more green in the correct lights. This was part of their 7 Deadly Sins collection, and, you know, Pride being one of those. And I picked it up. I thought the whole collection was cool, but I really wanted this black flaky. And I think this was probably pretty early on, before I was even buying from indies frequently. Like, this was my, like, dipping my toe into indies purchase. And I really, really enjoyed the flakies. I still, to this day, love flakies probably more than ever before. I feel like out of all the finishes from Different Dimensions that I own, or Different Dimension, I always say Different Dimensions with an S, and whenever I'm trying to pull up the website, I always type it in like that, and I'm like, where is the polish? And it's Different Dimension with no S at the end. And out of all of their finishes, I love their flakies the most. They put flakies in a whole range of different color bases, and they do lighter bases. And I typically hate a flaky in a lighter base color, because I just feel like the flakes tend to almost always pull yellow, at least with toppers. But somehow they pick the perfect flaky colors to pair with those bases, and I love it. So I don't know if you can get this particular flaky anymore from Different Dimension, but I would recommend heavily that you check out their flakies if you are into them. And then the last black polish, and it is, like I said, another flaky. This is Cuticula's Dragon Glass. Now, this was from my first polish pickup, so I think that is part of the reason why I love this one so much, but it really, really got me. When I got it, I was like, oh, it looks like a stained glass window in the church that I grew up in or something like that. But my boyfriend immediately was like, oh, it looks like rainbow fish. And now I just kind of view it as the rainbow fish polish. And there's something about this one where the black base builds up so beautifully. You know, you get a really good opacity out of it, but it doesn't obscure the flakies at all. Like, look at this swatch picture. You can very distinctly pull out these jewel tone colored flakies, and you can't always get that. Like, these polish makers, they work magic, because when I put flakies in one of the polishes that I tried to make in my like mix along video, I feel like they got completely obscured by the base color. And it's just like, it's perfect. It's so cool looking. And to have such a dark base and yet these flakies pop the way that you want them to, it's perfect. I keep meaning to buy more from Cuticula, and because I really love this polish here, and I just haven't bought more, even though they've released so many cool looking flakies. And I think it's because I've built this one up in my head so much that I'm afraid that if I buy something else and it's not as good, I'm gonna feel crushed by that. So I haven't purchased any more from Cuticula, but I've been meaning to. So those were my 5 black polishes, and now let's move on to my 5 gray polishes. Now, gray, I love gray polishes. I think it looks really classy. I think it's like super cool, chic. It's really like business friendly, but you can like dress it up or down however you want. And for me, I feel like, you know, when I was younger, all I wore was black clothes. It was like, it had to be black or I refused to wear it. Even to this day, I don't own blue jeans. I only wear black jeans. It's just like a thing. I feel most comfortable in the color black. But I decided a few years ago to kind of really branch out, really just make a new name for myself and start wearing a bunch of gray instead. And so I think it was only natural, you know, like black and gray. Those are my 2 kind of like big colors. And that's probably why I'm obsessed with gray nail polish. So I know I said I don't usually put these in any particular order. However, if you were like, Hillary, what is your favorite gray nail polish? I could answer that without hesitation. I would immediately go to my drawers and pull out BKL's You Are My Monster. This was part of the Fear Street collection, I guess. I don't follow the BKL collections very well because a lot of them are just IPs that I don't participate in. A lot of like books and shows that I'm not interested in or have never seen or anything like that. So I don't follow the collections as a whole very well, but there are certain polishes like this one. You can see that purple shimmer in there already. You can see why I love that. So there's just something about a subtle or chill or like professional looking color that has that little surprise in there that just is really in your face. Like, look at that. It's like a neon shimmer. It's like a jewel shimmer. Jewel and neon are not even close to the same thing, but in my head right now, these are both jewel and neon. They're so bright. They're so vibrant. So when I think of gray polish, this is literally the first one in my mind. And you know what? I'm looking at a couple of my grays. They're kind of, I guess, what you would call taupe, but I feel like taupe is just gray, but with like a churchy name, you know? It's like a churched up gray, I guess. But this is, I don't know how familiar you guys are with BKL. I have made like a couple purchases from them. I haven't made any recent purchases, but I know that if there's a polish that they don't have on their website anymore and you want it to come back, they do something called respawns. And so you can go to their website, fill out a form and tell them which polish you want respawned. And on their Facebook group, sometimes people will work together to get certain polishes respawned that they all want. So that's something that you could do if you're interested in this and it's not still on the website. I will always, like I said, try to link stuff down below when possible, but I'm not sure about this one. However, like, just look at the swatch, look at the reflection in the bottle. That's all you need to see. Then we have Zoya's Tove. Now, for a long time, I confused this one and Zoya's Dove because, like, on paper, Tove and Dove, like, they look like almost the exact same word. And they're both grays. Like, that's the other thing. Zoya's Tove and Dove are both grays. This one is a darker gray than Dove, and it is kind of blue leading. I love a blue gray, and I feel like Zoya has a lot of blue grays that I own. It's like one of those colors that they just do really well, and I'm always drawn to. This is a satin finish by Zoya, and if you don't know, like, Zoya has, I think they just call them like satins or satin mattes, and it is a matte polish. It dries down matte, but maybe not as matte as you were expecting. It's a much softer finished matte. It almost looks like, I mean, I guess it's supposed to look like satin, but I feel like it looks like velvety. You know, when you touch it, it feels just soft and a little bit velvety. And I feel like, me personally, I feel like the Zoya satin mattes, they kind of look a little bit oily even. Like, they look just a little bit wet on the nails. I don't know how to like describe it. They just look so soft and oily. And it could just be me, like maybe I'm disgusting. Because some people, like, their natural oils come through their nails, and especially with matte top coats, and I think that, or matte polishes and matte top coats, I think I'm not alone in this when I say that sometimes second or third day of wearing a matte polish, the polish just starts to feel oily. And I think part of that is, like I said, your natural oils from your skin and your nails coming through and like touching them and stuff. I think it's just the natural environment getting on them as well. So if you're like oiling your nails a bunch, of course, they're probably going to end up a little bit oily. But I don't say that like it's a bad thing. I think that the Zoya satin finish is pretty unique. I don't have any other polish brands that I can think of off the top of my head that have a finish that's quite like this. All my other matte polishes, they dry down like matte. This is kind of that soft in between where it looks like it could benefit from some top coat, but at the same time, it has a very unique, soft, satiny velvet finish. Now we have one that it's gray in theory. On the nails, it takes a lot of building up. This is a weird one. This is Cirque Colors Dove Jelly. Now, if you like jellies, you like jellies. If you don't like jellies, you don't. There's really, I don't think, anybody who's kind of like in between on jellies. It's a love or hate finish. Cirque has been releasing some like wild, crazy, interesting jelly colors. And, you know, this is no exception. I think, was it like fall last year? They released this particular line, and I got this one. And there's another one that's the olive colored jelly. And they're both pretty interesting jellies. I think they had a brown one in there as well. And then for a recent collection, I don't know if it was supposed to be the spring collection or what, but they had like more jelly brights. And there was a yellow one that, guys, this straight up looked like pee. Like, I don't know. I was like, I want that. I know it looks like pee, but I want that. It's just like they have a lot of really weird jelly colors. And I love that. Cirque does some really cool stuff. But this one, it's almost like it goes on so milky because it is just the lightest wash of color. I should try and put it over white just to see how much pigment actually comes through. But it's just, I can't see myself ever wearing this alone. I think that this would be cool to wear with a topper, like either sandwiched in between a couple layers or just a chunkier topper over the top of it. But on its own, it does look really unique, really weird, really interesting, and I am glad I bought it. And I mean, it is a Dove jelly. It's the most accurate name. And of course, where would we be without a little bit of a flaky in there? So we have Live Love Polish, which is now Mooncat, and this is called Enchanted Mist. Now, like I said earlier in the video, unless I cut that out for some reason, I don't love a lighter color with flakies, with iridescent flakies in there. I just feel like it doesn't look right. Like, I just feel like the colors don't pull through very well. However, in this one, I just feel like they picked the right flakies to put in, because you've really got a whole pastel rainbow showing through this gray. And I bet you, I didn't do this for my swatch photo, but I bet you this would look so cool matte. I say that about every single flaky polish, so maybe that's not really a profound statement, but I just feel like it would. I don't know. And I guess it doesn't have like the whole rainbow coming through. It's got like pink, purple, green and blue and maybe like a little bit of a orange, but something about this, it just looks really good. I don't think this is one that made it over to Mooncat, but of course I will check and put that in the description box. And then for the final gray, we have one that I mentioned actually in a recent video. That is Essie's Chinchilly. And again, this is like one of those taupey ones. It's like a, kind of got like a purpley undertone in a gray. I've never heard of people talk about purple grays. I've only ever heard people talk about blue leaning grays, so maybe I'm just making this up. I don't know, but I just feel like it's a purpley toned gray. As I said in my last video featuring this, this is the only polish in my entire collection that I have completely used up and then repurchased. And I feel like that's just a testament to how much I love this color, especially because I'm not actually a huge Essie fan. There are some people who really love Essie and really collect Essie. And I remember at the beginning of my collector days, I was like, what's wrong with me? I don't like Essie. I feel like I need to like Essie in order to like nail polish. And so that's where most of my Essie collection came from, was like me forcing myself to try and like this brand. I just never loved it. I don't go out of my way to buy Essies. I'm just not super interested in most of what they do. But if they discontinued this color, I feel like I would be on the front lines protesting it, because this is like the color. And you know, I have a color that's similar in an Orly, but I don't know. I like the Essie one. I just like this one better. I don't know why, because Essie formulas usually aren't that great for me, but I've managed to make this one pretty long wearing. So I don't know how I do that. I use the Orly Bonder base. So, I mean, maybe that's it, but this is definitely a great color. Did I say it's called Chinchilly? I hope I did. But it's like, it straight up is the color of a chinchilla, which I love. And I kind of want to pet a chinchilla now, so maybe I'll go to the pet store later. But yes, this is the perfect gray for a business meeting and for, you know, going on vacation. You want something subtle for going out to a nice dinner or something like that. But it's just a really nice color. And that leaves us with the whites. You guys know I'm not a huge fan of white polish. I don't love fully white nails on me specifically. I feel like white nails look really good on people who look like they go outside. People who are tanner, people who are darker. That's who white nails are for. They're not for me. I don't go outside that much and I look like it. And so I just feel like it looks like the contrast between my skin tone and the white polish is not sharp enough to really make them that bold statement that a white nail is. And for me, I'm just like, well, I don't like it. It looks weird. And as I've always said, they look like teeth. However, because I cut down the number of polishes to 5, I was able to kind of scrounge up 5 white polishes that I actually wouldn't want to throw up while wearing. And you'll notice none of them are a solid cream, because it's got to have something else going on in there or else I'm just not into it. So number 1 is one that I actually was not expecting to like as much as I did. This is Cirque's Mystic Moonstone. And now the swatch photo is a little bit old and it's not a good swatch photo. I am still, my swatch photos aren't that good, but they're better than the one that I took like at the beginning of my channel. This came from the first Cirque Colors advent calendar that I got 2 Christmases ago at this point. And this is, I'm pretty sure, the same finish as both Velveteen and Succulent Garden, which are blue and greens respectively. And they are basically, they have hollow glitter running through it. And then they have a nice contrasting shimmer. So this one has a really bold blue contrasting shimmer running through it. And it's got the glitter. And so when the light hits it just right, it's kind of like when it's really snowy out, when the sun is just going down, and, you know, the sky just has that like perfect, like purpley blue sheen in the background, and you can see the snow like glittering as the sun sets. It's one of those. It's really nice. And I feel like I would only wear this around the winter time. In fact, the couple times that I have worn it were in December. So I like this polish enough that it would make my top 5 whites, but I don't know if I would actually ever buy this one in the full size. However, I do love this finish by Cirque, and I love two of the other polishes that I have, which I said before, Velveteen and Succulent Garden. It's called Succulent Garden, right? Yeah. And I love those a lot. And so I just feel like because this has the same finish, it really like sucked me in. Okay, so then next we have one that I actually do really enjoy wearing, and I kind of don't want to wear it too frequently because you can't get it anymore. But it's a really fun summer color, in my opinion. Everything in this particular line is, and that is 90 Lacquer's Dragonfruit Freeze. This is the smoothie bar line. I've told you guys before, I'm trying to collect the whole thing. But this one is white with these big black shards, and it just, if you've ever cracked open a dragon fruit, it looks like this. Like it's a perfect dead on, like, it's perfect. Like she took the inspiration and she nailed it. It also kind of has like a chocolate chip vanilla ice cream look, or even like a little bit of a Dalmatian look. This is another one of those finishes that I know some people really don't love, like a big black shard or big black flake in a jelly polish. I really like it. I think it's kind of, it has a lot of depth to it if it's done right. And this is one where, you know, the base does partially obscure the flakes in it. So you can see like varying levels of the black shard depending on how much it's been covered or painted over. So it does look different every time. It's like kind of more dynamic in my opinion. And I just love the smoothie bar line. So, okay, so I have another shimmer in here. The first one had like that cooler blue shimmer. This one has like a warm pinky reddy orange shimmer. This is China Glaze Sauvignon On and On. And this actually is part of the, I think it was called like the White Hot Summer collection. And like how the Paint It Black was a 6-piece black collection, this is from a 6-piece white collection. I would just call it like the sister collection to that. And this is probably my favorite from the collection just because it's the most interesting. Somebody who doesn't love white polishes decided she needed to buy the entire 6-piece white collection. But Sauvignon On and On, like I said, it's got that shimmer running through it. Now this is, let me warn you, before you run out and decide to buy it, very sheer. It is very thin. My swatch photo, brace yourself. You guys are going to be really upset when you hear me say this. My swatch photo, that's 4 coats. I don't mind doing 4 coats. Like I like to paint my nails because I like to paint my nails. I just like to do it. Oh, where'd the sun go? Come back. But some people are like 2 coats. That's it. That's all I'm doing. So that's why I just want to tell you that's 4 coats. But it does look like a little bit of a sunset in the shimmer there. It's really pretty. But like I said, very thin. I flooded my cuticles like 9,000 times trying to paint this on there. Just, I'm sure there's probably something better out there with a similar shimmer color in there. That's all I'm trying to say. But I do like the color and finish of this one. Okay, now this one is a picture polish, and it might be gray. It might be, but you know what? This is my grayscale video. This is my monochromatic, like black, gray, white video. So even if it is gray, nobody come for me, okay? Because I don't care. Colors are fake. This is picture polish. I believe it's pronounced Lakodom, but it probably isn't. This is a collaboration polish with Polina Koroleva, I believe. I'm assuming she's a nail artist of some type. I'm going to be completely honest with you. The main reason I bought this was because the polish name has like a tiny little face in the middle of it. And I just thought that was cute. And I like this finish by Picture Polish. So I ended up buying it. I bought it because of the little face on the bottle. But I do like this finish. It's the same finish, I believe, as like they have one called Pooh, which is like a Winnie the Pooh yellow. And it just has these really light, really fine silver hollow flakes running through it. This is a very dainty looking polish. When you're wearing it, it's very light. And surprisingly, I don't feel weird when I wear it. I don't know if it's because it's got that little bit of an off-white or like a drop of gray in there. But the other day when I was taking swatch photos for the polishes that I don't have swatch photos of in my swatch library yet. This was one of them. And I had just put my nails into this kind of, all of them were in a shorter square shape to match up with my pointer finger, which broke. And I really liked it on these kind of shorter square nails. I don't know why I'm showing you these nails when I'm literally showing you the picture right there. But I liked it a lot. And I was kind of walking around. I was like, I don't want to take this off yet. And so then it delayed my swatches by like another 30 minutes. But really liked it. I always love when you buy something for kind of like a silly gimmick, like the bottle shape, or in this case, like the design on the bottle or something like that. And then you end up actually genuinely loving the polish as well. So that was kind of the case for me here. And even the bottle, it says wear tenderness on your nails. And I'm like, yeah, that is kind of like a tender, light, sweet color. I think that spring would probably be the time for me to wear something like this. It just feels very like on brand for spring, whatever that means. Or maybe like in the winter when it's like snowy and quiet and subtle. I didn't used to be a seasonal polish wearer, but now sometimes I just notice that in certain seasons, I'm just more drawn to certain colors. It's not even like a conscious thing. And so for me, I think it's starting to get just a little bit summery here today. It wasn't 2 days ago when it snowed, but on a day like today, I would not be drawn to wear this, but 2 days ago, I was definitely drawn to wear this. And then last, but certainly not least, we have an Enchanted Polish, and this is the 90s. So this is a kind of grayish white jelly base, and as you can see, it has a ton of just various glitters running through it. We have larger, round pink, green, orange, yellow, purple, and blue matte neon glitters. And then we have these couple sizes of tinier matte black and white glitters. And together, it just makes everything really pop. It's a really loud, really fun, like party confetti type color. I love these more confetti looking colors. And having them all mixed into a white makes the white way more wearable for me. This is one that I'm so glad I got. I picked this up when they were closing, when everything was on sale. And I think a lot of people ended up missing out on this one and were really disappointed. And I'm sorry, like there are other polishes out there. I'm pretty sure I have a couple polishes. I think even China Glaze did one that's similar to this, but I don't know. I think this one, maybe part of it is just the branding and stuff like that, but I really, really like this one. I don't really remember the 90s, so I don't really know if these colors are representative of the 90s. I was 8 when it ended, but I don't remember like culturally significant things in the 90s. You know what I mean? Like, I guess Pokemon, that's about it. But I digress. This, this is just a really fun, I love neons with a stark contrast to them, like either a black or a white. It just looks really good. I don't think I did the best job painting it on the time I took the photo. I need to do a new one because these are, big glitters, these neon ones. So they are a little bit chunkier. So I think that now that I have Glitter Grabber, I will probably go back and take a new swatch photo with this, but I just didn't have time to re-swatch 15 polishes before this video goes live. So those were my top 5 black, top 5 grays, and top 5 whites in my collection. Maybe if my collection becomes, I was going to say becomes gigantic someday, which it's already gigantic. If for some reason it becomes like astronomical, I might have enough to do like a rehash of this and do 10 of each in the future. Actually, I bet you I could have done 10 grays pretty easily, but black and white, not so much. But let me know if we overlap on any of these colors or what your favorite blacks, grays, and whites are. Turn me on to some white polishes that I might actually like. Let me know about some really cool black and white ones or black and gray ones you guys might know of, because I'm always looking for fun finishes in neutral colors. I just feel like they're not as common as we see with like the rainbow colors. So let me know all that, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.